It's Monte Carlo with history, glamour, and a uniquely tight and claustrophobic challenge. One that over the course of a lap sees us tour an entire country. Welcome along to the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Piastri, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, and Alex Albon, Lawson, Hadjar, Carlos Sainz, and Stroll, Doohan, Ocon, Nico Hülkenberg, and Pierre Gasly. Bortoletto and Ollie Behrman rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Davidson. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves? Big excitement? What?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race, Gruffy. Probably at the start of the race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation. And you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong? And how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
Radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
We can now use DRS. DRS now available. You might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, you have some front wing damage, but not enough to justify a stop in the remaining laps. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Good job, guys.
And as we've said so many times in the past, the checkered flag is out for our winner, Lewis Hamilton. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One. It's race day here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, a track that's certainly seen a fair share of electrifying races over the past few years, and there are no doubts that today's race will be just as brilliant. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and we welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector, shortening lap times and reducing the total running to 2.9 miles and 14 turns. This was actually the original setup for the track, but it hasn't been used since 2007. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Andrea Kimi Antonelli lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Norris, Tsunoda, Leclerc, Stroll, and Isaac Hadjar, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Liam Lawson, and Sainz, Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, Jack Doohan, and Ollie Behrman. Gasly and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me today is a man who needs no introduction, but I'll try anyway. It's Ant Davidson. Now, Ant, you always tell me you know Barcelona almost as well as you know the back of your hand. Given the amount of testing that goes on here and the amount of laps that you and all the other drivers have done, what are the challenges that are left when it comes to the race?
I think it's a well-trodden path, is Barcelona, Crofty. I mean, most drivers will know it up and down the grid. They would have raced here in their junior categories. And you come to Barcelona and there's nowhere to hide. So naturally, that makes all the lap times quite close because it's a circuit you know so well. But there's a key to this track, and it's looking after your left-hand side tyres. There are so many right-hand, it's a clockwise circuit, so lots of fast right-hand corners, puts a lot of energy on the left-hand side tyres. So looking after those through the race, getting your strategy right is vital for this circuit.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, DRS is now available. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far. Great work, that's a new fastest lap of the race. Okay, final lap, let's go, final lap. Absolutely awesome. Just amazing, mate. Well done.
Wow, good job, guys.
Looked like you had plenty of energy the rest of the race, so well done.
Yuki Tsunoda takes the checkered flag and wins.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they're able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
From lights out to the checkered flag, this is what they're racing for. It's points and a trip to the podium. And the little man towers over the rest. It's the top step of the podium for Yuki Tsunoda. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.